Hello, you. It's me. And I apologize for not putting out some videos for the past few days. But, life happens. You get busy. Anyway, I will try to correct that as much as possible. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about Gypsy's craziness. And it's not surprising to me. I'm surprised that anyone else is surprised. We have to understand, and I think we forget, this woman committed a premeditated crime. Okay? And did she do time for that premeditated crime? Not enough. In the state where she was at, it's supposed to be life in prison or on death row, and she didn't get that. Instead, unfortunately, Nick John, who was coerced by her for many years, is the one who got that. But let's look at her now. I watched her recent live, and honestly, it was boring as fuck. But I did find it really interesting when she was talking about all the things that she was doing with Aurora, is that she was trying to teach her how to roll over. Since when do you have to teach a kid to do that? I'm really confused. I'm really confused why she would think you have to teach a kid to do that. Usually, they do that on their own. Just like they sit up on their own. Just like they walk when they're ready to walk. I mean, that's what babies do. I don't know what she's thinking, but it just makes me worry more and more. It's more concerning when she feels like she has to force these things on her daughter instead of just letting them happen like what most people do. We encourage things, sure. We encourage crawling. We encourage all those steps that it takes, to grow and mature from newborn baby into a 1-year-old baby, into a toddler, and, and so on. We always encourage them making those strides, but it doesn't sound like, it sounds like she's impatient. And she's not waiting for Aurora to do these things on her own. She's trying to force them. That is very disturbing behavior. Also, I have seen from a few other creators, including Aerolink, I forget the other one, but I'll put it down below if I can remember. There's a few different creators who put it up, that she wrote out a community message saying that she wished evil on all the people who were wishing her child to be unalived. And as every creator has said, nobody has wished that. Nobody wishes ill of a newborn baby or a 4 or 5 month old baby. Nobody wishes that. I don't know where she got that, but my concern is that she's making these things up. She's setting them up for something to happen really bad later. And I hope to God that isn't true. But this is Gypsy we're talking about. We have to consider, and for me, I do this constantly because she does not think like most people think. She likes to make things up, set things up, make excuses so that when something bad happens, especially if she does it, she has, oh, well, look, I warned you guys. I told you bad things were happening. I could just see her saying, oh, well, somebody came in through the window and hurt Aurora. I could see her saying something like that. Or, oh, 2 bad men came in and did blah, blah, blah. I get very stressed out when I talk about a child being harmed. So sometimes I hold back from what I say. I could give better examples, but I can't do it. It makes me stressed. It makes me cry. I just become a big old mess because the idea of any infant, toddler, child being hurt just breaks me. I just can't. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And I know I'm not the only one. I mean, who can imagine a little bitty baby, sweet, innocent, a truly sweet, innocent child getting harmed is just beyond the pale for me. I can't. So I apologize. I have to pull back sometimes because it's just too much to bear. It really is. But Gypsy, her behavior is becoming erratic. The way that she treats Aurora is very disturbing. The way that she holds her, the way that she interacts with her that we've seen on different lives, and talking about teaching her baby to roll over. I mean, at this point, babies should be getting ready to crawl. Am I wrong on that? Or at least, making those swimming movements like they want to crawl. Do you know what I mean? But regardless, even if her baby doesn't start walking until it's 5, that doesn't matter. What matters is this language that she's using. I feel like she's very, very annoyed by her child. That's how she acts, very annoyed. I feel like she's very forceful with her child. This is all my opinion. This is how I feel about what I've seen, what I've heard. So let me just make this clear. I am not stating that these are facts. These are opinions, my opinion. But I feel like that stress about having a child that she doesn't really want, she's not getting the attention I think that she thought she would get after having a child. She got lots of attention when she was pregnant. She's not getting that attention now. The child is getting that attention. And she doesn't want to give that attention to the child. She does it begrudgingly, is what it looks like. But she wants all the attention on her. And somebody pointed this out. I wish I could remember who it was. Again, if I can remember, I will put it down below. But somebody it was the context. Beyond context. Dang. My brain is not working today. I apologize. But anyway, she had mentioned that Gypsy is displaying behaviors that are very similar to Munchausen by proxy. And, or Munchausen anyway. She would kind of fake being sick so that she would get the attention. But what is she willing to do to her baby? Because she doesn't seem, and again, my opinion, she doesn't seem bonded to the baby. She doesn't seem to really care about the baby. And she's only using the baby in order to try to show other people that she's relatable when she's not. She doesn't think like most people do because, in my opinion, there is something pathy there. So what she's trying to do is mirror what she sees, which is a common behavior for somebody with, we'll just say, antisocial behaviors. She will mirror people what she thinks she should be saying, what she thinks she should be doing. For example, her being in her car and the baby seat was behind her instead of on the other side of her where she could see the baby more easily. She's trying to do what she thinks people expect of her as a mother, but she doesn't really know how to do it. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand it, and nor has she reached out to try to figure it out or teach herself how to do anything. She acts like she's very knowledgeable about everything, but we've seen how she's treated her child. And it's starting to ramp up. That lie about threats to her child's life was an absolute lie. It was an absolute lie. Unless she's getting it in the DMs, but if she were in a private DMs, then wouldn't she publicize that? But she's not, because I think it's all lies. She's setting things up, and that is disturbing and distressing when you're thinking about little Aurora. something is wrong. And I can only hope, I hope and pray that authorities are watching her every move. They're seeing what she's doing and will make the proper decisions to protect the child. Because right now, the child is the one that most people are focusing on. It's not on Gypsy. All we notice is her disturbing behaviors. But what people are focusing on is Aurora, the baby. And she is not liking that. She wants all the attention on her. And she's not getting that. She's not getting that from Ken. She's not getting that from anybody. She wants it from Ken. She wants it from her family and friends, but mostly from Ken. Ken is more concerned with the baby. Now, she is getting a lot of accolades from Bree, but that's not enough. Bree is not enough. She wants all the attention all the time, and she's not getting it. And you can see how she's reacting to that. You can see how frustrated she is with Aurora because she's taking attention away from Gypsy, and Gypsy doesn't like it. And again, my opinion from what I've seen and from what I've heard. But it's very distressing. And I just hope that it doesn't continue for much longer, because I don't want to see anything happen to Aurora. She's a real baby. And she needs to be protected. And in Gypsy's care, she's in great danger. And I don't know what to do about that. You know, I mean, I could call the police out there. A lot of people have already. But what's been done? We don't know. As far as we're aware, nothing really. CPS is supposedly there. She's not supposed to have anything but supervised time with Aurora, but we don't know if that's completely true or not. But the more that I see her with the baby, and the more that I see Gypsy talking about Aurora, it's very disturbing. And God, I can only hope that they're on top of it so that that poor little baby is safe and secure. As far as the episode, the new episode of Gypsy's Life After Lockup, season 2, episode whatever the fuck, I don't care. I just don't care. I wanted to watch it. It seemed fairly interesting, I guess. But honestly, I'm getting bored of Gypsy, her antics, how the show keeps trying to make her a sympathetic character when she's a monster. And we have to remember, she is a monster. If Ken is treating her bad, too bad. She is a monster. Think of what she's done. What did she do to her mom? What did she do to Nick Godejohn? What about his mother, who passed away? What about the father? What about the brother? What about the other side of the family, the Petries? We have to remember what happened to them. And then we can go back and look at Gypsy from that point of view, from those lenses. She's not a regular person. She's not somebody, oh, it's so sad that she wasn't treated well. None of that matters. Who she's fucking, none of that matters either. It just doesn't matter. Her trashy life, her trashy family, I don't care about them. I don't care about what they say, what they do. Again, don't care about some skewed TV show that's trying to make her into a sympathetic person. She's not. She's not. She's evil incarnate. She's bad. And the little tells are starting to show much sooner than I thought they would, because I didn't think that she would really start going nuts until after she was off parole. She's still on. That's what's concerning. She thinks that she can do whatever the fuck she wants, and everybody's letting her. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I didn't watch the latest episode. I don't know if I will. I was interested just because Bree was there, but I heard the interview that Bree did with Toddy Oneskip, and Bree she doesn't seem to be a bad person. She got in with a bad crowd. We'll say that. But she doesn't seem to be a bad person. I don't know her. All I can speak of or speak to is what I've seen and what I've heard. But she seemed very respectful to Toddy Oneskip, even though they vehemently disagree. But I appreciated the fact that she was open to just talking. And, not all people are. I mean, Gypsy isn't. She has all her minions do everything for her. Again, that's a bad sign. There's so many red flags coming up. And fast, like they're moving fast. And sometimes they're little tiny tells, but they're little tiny tells that mean big, dangerous things. Especially when it comes to Aurora. And I hope to God that justice prevails and Aurora does not get hurt, because I'm scared for her. I really am. When it comes to like Ken or her trash parents or anybody else who lies for her, I care a little less. I don't want them to get harmed. Don't get me wrong. I don't want them to get harmed, but I care less because they're adults. They chose this path. But for Aurora, she's just a little tiny baby. And I can't express to you how concerning those tells are. They're really bad. But I feel, there's not a lot that I can do. I can watch and I can, express how I feel about what's happening, but I don't know what else I can do about it. I just think if we all keep it up and keep it in the public, then maybe Aurora will be safe. Maybe if we make sure that Gypsy is being watched 24/7, not for her, but make sure that she's being appropriate with Aurora, the baby. Maybe that's what we need to do. Just be on high alert to make sure we see, we watch, and we look for those signs so that if she's in your presence and you see it, you can stop it. You can call the police. You can do something, to make sure that child is safe. That's really my biggest concern. And I think that's the biggest concern of everybody, is that Aurora is not safe in Gypsy's hands. And I just hope that something is done with that soon, because I really worry for that child. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.